Alright, now we're moving on to page 3 of your week 2 packet. This is the sheet that you have, graphing a linear equation given any form. I'm going to be honest with you, this is where it gets real. We spent a whole lot of time doing this in class, but I know it's been a while, and I know this was some of the harder stuff that we did. So I'm going to spend a minute going over to review. Alright, when we're graphing an equation, the easiest format we can put an equation in is our very best friend, y equals mx plus b. This form right here allows us to put an equation on a graph. It's the easiest way to do it. So if we have an equation like this one that is not set up in this format, the best thing that we can do is swap that equation around. My y variable needs to be over here by itself. M is my slope, and we just talked about slope in the last video. And b is my y-intercept, or I like to call it my starting point. Okay? I'm going to do a lot of the work on this page over here just because that's going to make life a little bit easier. These are going to get long. I'm just going to go ahead and give you a heads up. These are going to get long. So let me rewrite my equation. My equation is 5x plus 2y equals 10. My goal is to get this equation in this format. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I want to get Mr. Y over here by himself. He's got to be completely by himself. So the first thing I'm going to do is move 5x. I'm going to move 5x as one unit. To undo a positive 5x, I'm going to say negative 5x. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So my 5x's go away. I'm left with 2y equals 10 minus 5x. Is Mr. Y happy? Nope. He's still not by himself. What's bugging Mr. Y? Well, what's bugging Mr. Y is this 2 right here. So what operation's happening between the 2 and the y? They're being multiplied. To undo multiplication, what do? To undo multiplication, we divide. So I'm going to divide by 2. That's going to cause these two to cancel. What I do to one side, I have to do to everything on the other side. That leaves me with y equals 10 divided by 2, gives me 5, minus 5 divided by 2 is going to be a nasty fraction, so I'm just going to leave it like this. Alright, now I've got my b and my mx in a different order. That's actually okay, but just for the sake of it, y equals, this has to move together. The sign in the front is attached. Y equals negative 5 over 2x. This is positive, plus 5. Now I have my equation. This is my m, so this is my slope. This is my b, so this is my start. Okay, so just to make life a little easier, I'm going to come over here and rewrite my equation. My brand new equation is y equals negative 5 over 2x plus 5. Okay, well, I don't have a graph drawn on my page. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to, ooh, my line's crooked. That's alright. I'm going to draw my y-axis and my x-axis. Now remember, this is my y-intercept. That is my starting point. My starting point is a positive 5 on my y-axis. So I'm going to start here at 0 and count up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the first point on my line. Next thing I notice, my slope. My slope is negative. If my slope is negative, that means I'm walking downhill. So my line's got to go that direction. So I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to make my line go this direction, I'm going to go to my right. 1, 2. There's one of my points. Just to make it a little easier for me to graph, I'm going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. And you know what? It'd probably be better if I had a ruler to make my line straight, but oh, that's painful. We're going to do it anyway. There we go. There's my line. On these, it is super, super important to what? Show your work. Show your work. If you need to attach a different sheet, and I'll show you my cheat sheet, this was where I worked it myself before I ever gave it to you. So you got to show your work, whether it's on this page, a separate sheet, something. Because if you make a mistake, how are we going to find that mistake if I can't see your work? Alright, let's go to the second one. Give me just a second to reset. Alright, my second equation is 200x minus 300y equals 600. Alright, this is my equation. It is not in this form. I need to get it into y-intercept form so that I can graph it. Okay, so I am trying to get Mr. Y all by himself. He's a grouchy old man. He doesn't like anybody to be in the room with him. So we got to get everything moved over. Alright? First thing we're going to do, I'm going to move this 200x. The easiest way to do it, minus 200, minus 200. What I do to one side, I do to the other. Those cancel. I'm left with negative 300y equals, bring my 600 down, minus 200x. Alright? Let's look. Is Mr. Y happy? Nope. Not yet. We've still got some work to do. Who's bugging Mr. Y? Well, negative 300 is. What operation is happening between negative 300 and y? They're smushed. They're smushed. They're being multiplied. How do I undo multiplication? I undo multiplication with division. So I'm going to divide by negative 300. What I do to one side, I have to do to everything on the other side. Right? So that cancels. I'm left with y equals, let's see if we get a kind of a clean number. 600 divided by 300 negative equals, haha, look at that, negative 2. And now I've got negative 200 divided by 300 negative, and I get that nasty fraction. So I'm going to do my fraction to a decimal, and it's positive, so plus 2/3, can't forget my variable. Alright? Just because I want it to look exactly like this one, I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to move that to the front. Remember, the sign in the front is attached. When I have no sign there, that means, it means it's positive. And this sign is attached. So my brand new equation, y equals 2/3 x minus 2. Again, I have no x and y axis, so I'm going to draw those in. I know that this is my y-intercept, this is my start, so I'm going to come down to -2, start here at 0, 1, 2, that's my first point, that's where I start, because this is on my y-axis. Alright, I know that my slope is positive, which means if I'm walking uphill. So my line's got to go that direction somehow. So I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to go to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. If I connect that, is the shape of that line going to match this one? Yes, it will. So I'm going to keep going. We'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. These are kind of hard to see. Should have a ruler, but you know what? Ugh, we're going to do it anyway. There's my line. Again, super, 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 super important. Show your work. Show your work. I think the biggest challenge on these is going to be rewriting and solving your equations. If you need help with this, if you need me to work a few more of them for you, I can post another video and we can do that. Just let me know. You can message me in Google Classroom and I will help you out. Please, please let me know if you need help, guys. Love you.